Hey everybody, welcome to Reverse Homesteading. Thought I'd do some planting today, and I'd actually forgotten I had these, my potato onions or clumping onions, which I bought a couple of weeks ago, and I put them in my bucket to take outside to the garden and forgot about them because they fell down the bottom. But anyway, it's not too late to plant, and I'll put them in with my spring onions here, or on the other side, and they will be happy together there in my carrot bed. And this bed over here, I'm just preparing to do some time-lapse photography with you all, and we'll do trellis there together. So I've sort of dug holes here, and I'm just about to put some cow manure. I don't think it matters what kind, as long as it's not chicken. Chicken's called hot manure. That's just a bit too rough for young plants, so you need something like cow or sheep manure or well rotted down horse manure. Any kind of manure should be pretty much well rotted down. Just give these other little ones something because I've got some left. The packet says you should put manure down and dig through the soil before you put these onions in. I haven't really gone to a lot of effort for onions, which is perhaps why I haven't had amazing harvests for full-sized onions. Spring onions are easy, green onions, shallots, that sort of thing. But I thought if I try a bit harder it would be good, because these potato onions are apparently so good that you get 8 to 12 bulbs out of one. So the bulbs we have here, I've got 5. It looks like I've got 4, but I've actually got 5. Ooh, that's a double one as well. So what I was going to do is to split these, because they've been in the packet for a little while and that's not too juicy there, so I think they'll be alright to split them. If they were very fresh, I'd be worried they might rot to do this. Perhaps I should have done it before I planted them, but oh well. So I'll just make a little bit more of a hole here, and you're supposed to plant it up to the bulb neck. So that's this little neck there. Just peeping through there will be just fine. Just steal some manure from this thing. So if we've got, how many have we got now? If I divide them up, we've got 6. So perhaps we'll get 48, or what's 12 sixes? 72. That's a lot from 6 bulbs. So we shall see. Time will tell, won't it? Alright, this larger one can have a larger hole. Alright, there we go. This one can go over here. This one here. It's a pre-prepared little spot. The end of winter into spring is when you usually plant these kinds of onions, according to the packets. I think it's probably the case for most onions. I was growing onions over winter, and I think it's just not warm enough for them. Alright, so this little spot will be good. It doesn't have any mulch on it, but I might actually put some mulch on it. We'll just water them in. The ground is already kind of wet because we've had pretty much rain every day of some sort. Not a lot of rain in general. The total amount hasn't been huge, but we have had rain recently. So just keep an eye on these little ones. Make sure they don't dry out too much before they sprout. They may not sprout for a few weeks yet. So try not to waterlog them too much, and try not to let them dry out. So that's the tricky thing. These might be a bit close, but they'll be alright. That's where the manure was. So we'll see how they go. Seeing as we have successfully planted our bunching onions, they will take a while to grow. So I'm going to be a little sneaky here and put my mini Bok Choy in here, because we sort of pick them and come again, and I reckon they'll be almost done by the time the onions are. So we're just going to pull them out and plant them here in amongst the onions. Seems a little messy, but this mix is so loose. It's just easier just to empty them all out. So make some little holes with these. Make the most of the manure that we put on this area just now. Some of these have little baby ones next to them, so I am going to get them out separately and plant them. So these are Asian greens. If you haven't had bok choy in a stir fry or something like that, they're pretty tasty. They're very good. Put that little thing there. And they're well worth planting because they grow in winter, at least here in Melbourne. We're a temperate area. We get frost, but never snow or anything worse than frost. Oh, that's a little tiny baby one there. Why not? Let's plant the little thing. Pretend it's going to work. And this one, so I'll just put these around the edges. And then I have some Swedes or rutabagas here that need a home. So I'm going to put them in amongst here as well. And the interesting thing about these is they are a brassica or cruciferous vegetable. And so they should have had things like cabbage moths attacking them, and they haven't in the greenhouse. So like not one little munch out of there. Maybe it's the wrong time of year now, but I am not going to put them on under a net like the rest of the Swedes or rutabagas. They are tiny and they may not work, so I'll just plant them near the other ones and maybe they'll work. We shall see. They're a bit too small to be out in the wild, but these ones I shouldn't leave any longer, so I've got these here. Try to make enough room for everybody. So there's our mini Bok Choy tag. So I've dumped them all out there. I'll try to keep them on this half because I want to succession sow some more carrots over that side. So we will try that. In the meantime, we'll see if we can get these going. That would be fantastic. Some of these might be a bit close to the onions, but as I said, the onions may not do much because they're over summer at least, because their harvesting time is autumn. So I've got quite a while to go until the onions, the bunching onions or potato onions, are ready. So I'm just gonna make hay while the sun shines, as they say, and use this area as much as I can, even though it's not under a net here for the brassicas. I'm just curious to see how they'll go because so far so good. They've done okay. Don't worry, that's an old carrot top that I didn't take away. Carrots are over the other side, so I haven't messed anything up. There's a couple of little small ones there. We'll see how they grow. They might be alright. We shall see. Water them in very gently and they might just produce for us. That will be good. And I think that's it. I am going to get my little granddaughter to plant her own little plant in here, so I want to leave a little bit of room for that. Alrighty, time to water in very carefully. Even though I've just watered in the onions, I've sort of messed that up a little bit. I was thinking of planting here, but I wasn't sure. But there's just so much space left. The onions really didn't take up much space, so they don't yet. Hopefully they'll fill this bed. That will be fantastic. But yeah, as I probably said in the previous video, I keep missing the bunching onions when they come up for sale in the spring from the really good plant sellers. They don't seem to come to the major hardware stores in Australia. They seem to be something that you find somewhere a little bit more special. So I was surprised to see these in a mainstream shop because I kind of forgotten about them really, to be honest. I would have thought I'd see them more in springtime. So that's those planted. I'm going to keep an extra special eye on these, especially at night for slugs and snails. I may even put some covers on them. We shall see. Alrighty, we're just going to try some time-lapse photography here while I put my little strings up in the trellis. I've done a video like this before, but this one will be even shorter to watch, so that might be handy. Let's go. So there's our trellis for our English peas or shelling peas done. Winter peas, they have a lot of names, as I've said before. If you've been around for a while, you would remember that the first ones that I direct sowed had a whole lot of rain. I think we must have had about a week of rain straight after that, and they would have all rotted in the ground, so they never came up. So plan B was these little sprouts. So now I've done some little seedlings and they're about ready to go out. We've just had approximately a week or so of rain again, so I'm hoping that the rain holds off like the weather forecast says it will, and we'll get planting these little peas. These are Mr. Fothergill's silicon. Ooh, look at those, fantastic. Silicon little pots. They're kind of pricey, you only get 2 for $15 Australian, but I'm glad I've been ever so slowly purchasing them whenever I could. Look at the roots on that one. Oh my gosh. What's the date on these? Not being particularly careful with them. The 10th of June. Today is the 18th of July, so I guess even though they've been slow, they have been growing quite well. See if you've got two, just very gently peel them apart from the top, and then if you've got crazy roots like this, you can just try to wiggle them apart. Ooh, that broke a little bit. It's going to be okay. It makes it much easier if they're well watered before you do this, but this is looking a bit brutal, isn't it? There we go. There we go. Quite a lot of roots. They've been growing slow and steady. My goodness. I'm hoping they're not too big to transplant, but I don't think so. Alrighty, we're losing the light and I've packed everything away. Time to go inside. There's the little babies planted. Well, I hope you're having fun in your garden. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.